Just like my earlier video, I have demonetized this one as well. This video took me roughly 30 hours in the making, and that's a low ball, because if we are going to boycott Genshin and get what we deserve, we have to do it right. I took the time to research and put forward a solution I personally believe in, backed up by historical information as well as research papers. Now, this video is going to be a long one, so if you do not care about a lot of the backstory, skip to this part if you are only interested in learning about how you can help Genshin and boycott. I did not want to just regurgitate the same information as everyone else and give very little advice on what we need to do as a community. Instead of milking the drama for views, I wanted to provide something substantial, because at the end of the day,
it's not about money, it's about sending a message.
I hope you enjoy. It's official. The second Great Genshin War has begun, and this time we are going to finish the job that we started. We are going to get what we deserve or die trying. Okay, let's not die, but I thought that would sound cool. Something major happened recently which we have to start this video off with, and you need to be aware. Only in great times of need such as this, events like this can occur, which have the potential to incite change. Sounds very dramatic, I know, but let me explain. The CN and EN voices are reunited. Literally on Douyin, people are reacting to the outrage of our voices. Thank you, Tectone. Whatever your opinion of this guy is, you can't argue. He does get attention. So, with a united group of players, we can make a change. And I'm not accepting any excuses of there's no point in voicing our concerns. By the way, the last time something similar like this happened, a change was made. Weapon banner and Xianyun. So it is possible. While I was recording this video, miHoYo have responded, and they are fighting back strong. They are fighting back with psychological warfare. They know our weaknesses. A day after my original video went up, they released Cloud Retainer sneezing. Yes, sneezing. And I've already seen a good few men lost to this. Seriously, I have read comments, I was ready to boycott, but then after I heard Cloud Retainer sneeze, I'm sorry guys. We have to stay strong. We will not lose this fight. Stay strong, soldiers. We will not give in. They can't use waifus against us. Also, no one sneezes like this. They're manipulating you. Snap out of it. Now, here's the thing. I personally believe we are at a major crossroads for the future of Genshin. People won't tell you this because they are scared and they don't want to tell you the truth. Honestly, I can only see this going two ways. We can either take the current situation and use it as a catalyst for change, or the option I'm too afraid will happen. I genuinely believe if we don't protest now for change, we will never get it. And the downfall of Genshin will soon to follow. The big statement, I know, but we need to strike while the iron is hot. CN players have already done the hard part, let's not let them down. Also, an opportunity like this will most likely never arise again. Just look at the current landscape of the game and the community. People are losing hope and losing hope fast. It's already hard enough to rally people up for a boycott. The amount of people I see just rolling over and just accepting the disrespect Hoyoverse gives us is just unfathomable. Now let's use this as leverage to push Genshin even further, because it can, and it's quite frankly not even that hard. Now, I made a lot of big claims, but now let's talk about that. But just before we jump into the discussion, I need to make one point clear. I understand a lot of people may not even have a problem with the game, but it's a known fact that veteran players who chase more serious content are not happy. And it's kind of a selfish take to say, I'm happy, so why are you trying to demand any change? With this mentality, the game's lifespan is limited at best. If long-term players cannot fund and stick with the game, eventually new players will stop joining as more people get discouraged and the overall image of the game gets tainted like it is currently. But we can change that. Please be a bit patient and hear me out. Watch the full video as there is a lot to discuss. And if you still disagree with me in the end, please let me know in the comments, because at this point I would be interested in what you had to say. Because seriously, this probably may be the most in-depth Genshin video you'll ever see. It hurts to hear someone even suggest that your game is not great, or that it's dying, or even inferior. Genshin players get really attached to these characters and the game. Because, I mean, of course, look how hard it is to get a single 5-star in the game. You know, you have to save wishes for a long time, months on end, plan ahead. Then you gotta hopefully win the 50-50. An experience like this is going to cause you to feel very connected to the game and the characters you have within it. And it does not help that Hoyoverse is extremely stingy. Everyone's account feels unique and hard-earned at the end of the day. Unlike most games where you feel like you go through the motions, in this game it's a very visceral experience. Your account is very closely tied to you. They feel extremely unique. However, so if someone was to attack the game in which you just spend the last 50 days farming so you can get your new character, it's gonna hurt twice as much, as you are emotionally invested, having to win a gamble, a literal 50-50, and potentially financially invested in this game because a lot of people put money into this. So you do want to have a little respect thrown at you by the developers. So of course, it may be hard to listen to some of the stuff I have to discuss today. Now back to the main point, which is Hoyoverse, quite frankly, disrespects their players and treats us like human ATM machines. Let me avoid ranting about Primogems or rewards too much because that can really dilute the message. I'm not even complaining about being used anymore, guys. Just please give me a reason to be used, okay? Clearly, I'm in a really toxic relationship with Genshin, but that doesn't matter anymore, guys. We're too far in this point. Let's just keep digging. Whatever you believe, Genshin is a great game. Well, nearly a great game. And I want it to go down in history as such, and not a cash cow and a beta test for Honkai's Star Rail. I love Genshin and I want to see it succeed long term. And the problem is, I love you Genshin Impact, but you keep hurting me. Why do you do this to me? It just hurts too much. What am I saying? Oh, it is 100% capable of doing so, but the devs seem to be happy with letting this game die, instead of putting in the fraction amount of work they really have to do. But there's a good chance it will fade into obscurity, especially when the open world gacha market gets some serious competition, which is happening very, very soon. And by that time, it may be too late. Now, I'm going to get straight into it, but in this video, I may come across as ungrateful depending on your previous stance. So I greatly recommend you to watch my last video where I go into depth about the overall situation with Genshin and why this matters to everybody. The message won't hit the same, and that video isn't monetized, so I just want to spread the message. And one thing I will say is that if you believe that we are just being ungrateful and we should not advocate for the game to be better for all its players, because it honestly 100% can, the foundations are there, and you think it's fine that Hoyoverse disrespects the players like it does, just because you have the wall covered over your eyes and you can't see it, I believe it's an incredibly selfish take. I believe as players we should be able to listen to each other without getting offended. That's just the bottom line. And if you can't accept that, then that's really selfish. But first of all, let's talk about the state of the game and the community itself, as this is probably the cause of the problem. Yes, we are standing up now, but how did we get to this point? I'm about to tell you some hard truths and be brutally honest here. And a lot of you guys may not like what I'm about to say, but I'm on your side here. And I want to speak out in order for you guys to get the change you deserve. The state of Genshin is not good, and the content creators will not admit this. And that is because this is their bread and butter. Literally, some of these guys have families and literal kids to feed. They won't speak out to the extent that they should because they risk getting axed by Hoyoverse. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It makes sense. And I don't blame them for this. This is perfectly in their right. But back to my point. Even the content creators know there really isn't that much content to do after a certain point. Just go on any big content creator's channel or type in Genshin in the search bar. Half the content isn't even about the game anymore. And this isn't the content creator's fault. They do know there's just no end game or purpose after some point. And there's only so many hours you can put into the game. So of course people are skewed into doing other types of content. If there was an end game or bigger challenge, this wouldn't be so. Other big Genshin players have admitted at this point they just do their dailies and hop off the game. Now, if the game is as great as they say it is, they would be playing it more off stream as well, okay? And they would have plenty of content to talk about. Let's be real, if there's more to do in the game, they wouldn't need to have so much content outside the game itself, whatever your take is on that. Don't take my word for it. Go look for yourself and actually have a think about what I just said. They won't tell you the game is in a bad state. Because if you hear that, will you really come back to watch their next upload? I would not really be that invested in a dying game. Another argument I've heard is that it's just a game. Why do you have to be so annoyed? And it's a free game. Of course, it's not a big deal for the content creators. But that's not the case for you guys as well. I don't know why they think they could just say, oh, it's fine for me, so why should I care? The content creators and the players have two very, very different perspectives. For them, it's more of a business. And I don't mean in a bad way. Because I used to make Genshin content, and I could very easily justify buying wishes because it's somewhat of a business investment, alright? I could play the game, buy the characters, and feel fine. But how would I feel if I didn't have the opportunity of even making a tiny bit of money back? I would feel very different. Then I would really be hit hard by the stinginess, okay? So you have to take that into account when you listen to big content creators' advice. They make money off this game and talking to you guys. A lot of the viewers that I've seen, they actually spend a lot of time in this game and money without expecting anything back. Now, it's not just a game for a lot of people. People really love this game and they really want it to succeed. And if you aren't willing to advocate change just because you don't personally agree with it and your viewers are saying something else, I don't know, chief. A lot of people do spend a lot of time and money into this game with the expectation it's going to be built upon later on. That's just how live service games work at the end of the day. And that was my expectation as well, at least. Many live service games do not release with the full roadmap features, and they intend to get better over time. But Genshin, they appear to do the bare minimum, and they keep doing it because you guys allow them to. It may be a game, but many people love this game, and they want to see it flourish, and not just stay in mediocrity, when it can be pushed so much further. A lot of people, they do take it very seriously and put a lot of money into the game. They believe that they will get some form of content to test out these hard-earned characters on, or wait until they realize that's not coming and quit, which is a sad reality for a lot of people. Don't take my word for it, check the comments in the last few videos. A lot of people have said the same statement, and it's literally hundreds of comments. And I am really grateful for you guys to actually tell me your honest opinions about the state of the game, and it's made me realize a lot of things I personally did not realize before. And that's what I'm here to talk about. And it's because of your guys' voice, we can even attempt to push the game even further. Not me, it's literally you guys. You can only develop and become better when there's a challenge to overcome. Sounds really corny, but that's literally how life works. And with game development, it's the same thing. If we never try to push to be better, it will never be better. So it's in your best interest to hold Hoyoverse and the content creators accountable, as well as your fellow Genshin players. I think if a game does demand as much time and money sometimes as this game does, the least we can expect is to be listened to, which is just not happening. I want to avoid friendly fire here. This doesn't apply to everybody, but if larger content creators will not speak up for you guys, the people that honestly do not get a say sometimes, it's a disservice to you, and it's the very people that support them and make them who they are. If you can't voice your concerns, it's something that doesn't sit right with me. As a side note, with this boycott issue came out first, I have seen a lot of Honkai Star Rail players speak out first and have a very aggressive stance, which is what we need. And this is mainly because they aren't as worried about hurting the fans' opinion or the public image as much, as they don't really play Genshin, so they don't risk hurting that relationship that they have. And I really do appreciate this. But I'm gonna be honest, right now, fence sitting is the worst thing you can do. And listen, I'm no saint. I just like making videos, and I can't do that if the game's content is lacking in that regard. Watch how many content creators will return if we put the hard work in and this boycott works. I guarantee. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but these big creators are literally funded by Hoyoverse. They have contracts, and it's not a stretch. They do get primogens from them, right? I mean, they see you as an investment to their business. They are going to give you the resources to show off the game. So you're the only one going out of pocket to play the game. So they are not as starved of wishes as you are. They don't feel the same as you do. So of course they don't care too much and they feel it's fine. Because who wouldn't? Clearly they don't feel that fussed about rewards. The company is rewarding them to just play the game. Now, as we talk about rewards, it is not about getting more rewards in the game. That will not fix the problem and will only be a band-aid at best. Now, when Hoyoverse get back to us, and they will offer rewards as an apology. But we must not accept this. We need more. I don't want to bang on about this point as I have a lot to talk about, but quickly I want to say, do not cave in when they give us 10 or 20 wishes. At this point, we could get 100 wishes and I would slap that right back. None of that is going to fix. We need to be listened to. They need an open channel of communication, or at least give us some basic endgame content and quality of life at the bare minimum. At the end of the day, all I want for them is to say, hey, we will take you seriously and we will respect you. That's it. But we must demand for change from the producers, not a cheap reward to make us forget like they did in the first year. Until I get confirmation they are listening to us and will make genuine gameplay advances to the game to support the game long term, such as quality of life and endgame content, we need the devs to take a step up. And we pay them so much money a month. Last month, 17 million. They can make a whole game off that, and they can't add basic changes we've been asking for years. We need them to do better, because they can. And if we don't, we will let the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity slip by our hands. This is literally the only time we can make it happen. Now, let me discuss why people are going to say, well, I don't see the problem here. And it's true, most of you guys will not see the problem. And that's exactly the issue. Confusing statement, I know. There's a lot of content in Genshin, and it does a lot of things great. It falls in other major aspects, especially the aspects which are needed for a long-term lifespan of a game. Now, the reason this game will die, I'm not saying maybe, I'm saying will. Because games like this need an endgame. If the game didn't have that much of a steep investment while playing, it wouldn't matter too much. But when a game asks this much, it's only fair we get some sort of challenge or reward for the hard work we put in. Otherwise, it feels like wasted time at the end of the day. I'm personally not even at that point at this point because my characters suck and I don't really care about building them for the meta. But when you hit that point, you realize the game does fall flat. Now, if you stop being ignorant and listen to what people have to say, everyone is saying the same point, even people that quit Genshin. Just try to listen and keep an open mind about this. Not satisfying veteran players is a massive problem. And if they can't do that, the game doesn't have a leg to stand on in terms of the wider gaming market. But for now, Hoyoverse don't care. They get enough new players that will keep playing the game until they reach the point that they really had nothing to really show for it. But the extremely negative Genshin players are a symptom of the game's state. When the game asks a lot from you and you don't get rewarded for any of it, it's not a good strategy. Don't get me wrong, the game is great. I love the game experience and I still do. But from AR 0 to AR 55, you're having the time of your life. You're experiencing so many new things, going to new regions, trying out all the new characters, learning the story, and you get all of the sweet primogems from playing the game. But as soon as you hit the AR 55 mark, everything kind of dries up really fast. And by this time, we've all done the same cycle 5 times. Go to a new place, meet the Archon, save the people, try a few new things. They need to innovate. If you don't innovate, then what are you going to do? Instead of repetition, we need advancements. Nothing proves this point better than Fontaine, because many content creators pretend Fontaine is God's gift to Genshin. And yes, I agree. Fontaine was amazing. New mechanics like swimming, they made swimming work. New enemies, new variety of enemies. Robots, we had aliens. Changes to the story, they put everything to 11, yet people are still unhappy. Why do you think that is? That's some high quality content we got at the end of the day. The reason is, they did not fix the core issues people have been screaming about for years. I don't think you can get better than Fontaine in terms of the story and exploration, but you see that isn't fixing the problem. That's because something else is the problem. That's the biggest argument for this case. Fontaine will make people come back and play, but then that's it. It won't get people to stay. At the end of the day, we need genuine quality of life and endgame. We need the company to be less stingy and actually listen to us. Because what is the point if we just get one new area we can clear in one sitting, one new character to pull for? That's not new content. I'd rather them not give us that and tell us for 1 month, hey, we're working on one big update on just one new mode. No new characters, no new environments, just one game mode this patch. I would love that. I wouldn't care. I think that would be amazing, but they won't do that. I don't think they will get money from that. Bigger YouTubers can't talk about this as, like I said, their livelihood is on the line. So I will put the blame on miHoYo on this one, but not me. I'm going to tell you why we need this, and it's kind of looking bad, especially if we don't do anything now. I don't care if this video gets a lot of backlash. I will happily go down with the ship to make this happen. Now, the biggest and the most fundamental issue here is the disrespect we get from Hoyoverse. I'm about to say some complicated stuff, so stick with me here. What do I mean by disrespect? Of course, 3 roles for 3 years. That's a joke, we all know that. And if you are going to say, that's the same reward we got for the last 2 years, shut up, alright? I need to explain why this is beyond stupid. With the Lantern Rite rewards, it's just kind of boring and uninspiring and outright lazy. Yeah, it's nice, but you should have some form of variety at least. It's okay, but it's not that much different from last year. It doesn't fill me with excitement. It's like, oh, that's nice. I'm not even talking about the fact that we're just getting a free 4-star. I mean, let's be honest, 4 stars, some leeway, we probably already have most of them, at least 1 copy of them by now. For newer players, like I said, it's alright. But for the older players that have done this since the start of the game, it doesn't feel like much. Oh yeah, and the best one, a free Xingshu skin, which is basically Faruda's outfit slapped on Xingshu. They didn't have to design much there, did they? Compare that to Honkai Star Rail's 2.0 livestream. Do I have to say anything? Now, for those of you gonna say, be quiet about Honkai Star Rail, they're different games, hence you can't balance the same rewards, for whatever reason. Let's say that's 100% factually true. That argument is still invalid. The reason why is on a basic level, how the players feel by the devs. If we as a group feel straight up disrespected, then that's the problem. Because at the end of the day, as much as you want to argue that Genshin reward should be more scarce and more limited according to you for exploration or whatever reason you come up with, it doesn't even matter, as these are virtual rewards that quite frankly don't even matter that much anyway. There, I said it, your C6 Eula is not going to help you put a deposit down for a house. So why does this matter? The rewards is just a way to show that the devs care about the players and respect their time and support. Why does Hoyoverse act like Primo Gems is like 10 times higher value than the dollar or gold? It's not. It's just a video game. Just show some love back to your players. Show them that you care and you are listening. When you see Honkai Star Rail, you can see this. You can see that the devs like the game and they like the player base. That's why they give more. It's like, why do people give gifts? It's a show of appreciation. It's as basic as that. Think of it like this. We support them and we literally fund and advertise their game for them. I play the game, I go on to all my friends bugging them about how good Genshin is. The thing is, if Hoyoverse didn't know the problems you are facing in-game, it would be perfectly fine. But they do, and that's the worst part. Why do you think Honkai Star Rail gets everything we've been asking for years? We've been begging them for the changes, and instead of putting it in our game, they are turning around and giving it to Honkai Star Rail. This is not hate against Honkai Star Rail, it's just clearly they know what we want. Better quality of life, endgame, respect. They turn around and give it to the other game. Why? If they didn't think it's a big deal, they wouldn't put it into Honkai Star Rail. And that's my problem. They don't care, and they get away with it every time. And that's ultimately why I'm so angry about this. It's just their lack of respect. But if the game was better at the end of the day, I wouldn't even care that much. But the fact is, Hoyoverse is slacking, and they know they can get away with it. Before I did defend Hoyoverse, and yes, I was a white knight as well, but I have changed my mind, and I will tell you why. Now, just like everyone else, I played Honkai Star Rail when the game came out. It was pretty good, but I was like, not my cup of tea, even though I love turn-based games. I'll play Genshin instead, thank you. But with Dr. Ratio coming out, I thought, let me just log in and collect the character. He may be useful later. So I collected him and just tried him out and started playing again. And I was pleasantly surprised with the changes they added into the game. And this is honestly what pissed me off, because this is where I noticed the joke, which is called Genshin's dev team. As these players have reserve resin. Holy crap, Genshin has been asking for this for years, and they have it. And they also increased the resin cap. Never mind, Genshin has been asking for this for, like I said, years. They implemented these changes as early in patch 1.3. They didn't wait until patch 4.2 to implement basic changes to the game. Regarding this point, I am not saying Genshin needs every single change Honkai Star Rail gets. I'm just saying they actually implement the changes the players say. That's all I'm saying here. I thought Hoyoverse were just crap developers and they just don't know how to do basic things, but that's not the case. And now, I actually am playing the game again. Literally every day, I'm playing Honkai Star Rail. And this all started from giving out a free character. And guess what? I bought the supply pass, which is basically the Welkin Moon. And look, just like that, they got a new long-term player who is willing to spend money in the game. It's literally a win-win. Now, I'm just one guy. Imagine how many other players did this. And let's get back to the point about why Genshin is in trouble. Because at the rate we're going, I promise you, Genshin will not stand the test of time. It will probably have another 1-2 good years. There's a lot of games that are currently looking at Genshin and will happily take it out of the picture. At the rate we're going, I promise you, Genshin will not stand the test of time. I'm not even talking about weathering waves, because if they don't finish Genshin, there'll be another game developer that generally cares about giving the players a good experience. Genshin is in an extremely profitable market, and people will try to dethrone Genshin. People are waking up, and if you want to close your eyes, then just do so. But don't pretend like you're actually helping the game. Now, it is a bigger deal than you think with Weathering Waves coming out, because I will tell you why. The game is coming out most likely with all the shiny features that devs didn't put into Genshin that people have been arguing for years. They are starting out stronger than Genshin did. That's a fact. And it will be easier to implement before it releases. For this reason, Genshin is on the back foot. Changes for them will be 100% more difficult to implement. And they need to implement and start working on that earlier. But it doesn't look like they even care. So it's just something they need to do if they're going to survive in a market where a fresh new game is desperately trying to take them out of the picture. Then we know how much money this game market makes, literally 17 million a month from just the Nivea banner. Obviously a very lucrative market, 17 million last month from just Nivea. Now, a lot of people are looking at Weathering Waves, and it makes sense. because everyone is saying they want this game to be everything Genshin wasn't, and I can see why. All the anti-Genshin players that put their trust in Genshin a long time ago are very, very hungry to scratch the itch that Genshin didn't, and still doesn't want to provide. Now, I'm not saying Wuthering Waves will be a Genshin killer. I'm just saying Genshin needs to update itself with the times, and it's not doing that. And if Wuthering Waves won't kill Genshin, another game will, because Genshin is reluctant to listen to the players. Now, don't take my word for it. I'll be disappointed if you just listen to some random guy on the internet. Let me give you some historical examples. That's right, we use hard facts and evidence on this channel. Now, let me tell you a story. So a long time ago, there was a little game franchise you might have heard of, Medal of Honor. I think a lot of you guys may be too young to remember, but the franchise was released way back in 1999. It was basically your typical first-person shooter from the early 2000s, hitting its peak in 2002. So a few guys from the game dev of that game left and started working on a new project. They made their own game. And guess what? This game was called Call of Duty. Yes, you might have heard about that one. And Call of Duty had the intention of dethroning Medal of Honor. So much so, they actually named the project Medal of Honor Killer. Very similar to TOF. And just like TOF, they failed until 2007 at least, which is when a little game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare comes out and demolishes the market, completely eating up Medal of Honor, never to be seen again, quite literally. But how did they do this? By jumping in time and setting the game in modern times, as opposed to the boring older style that many fans grew tired of, and Medal of Honor was not willing to adapt to the changing game market. And by this time, it was too late. Call of Duty just ate up too much of the player base and the market that Medal of Honor had no chance in getting a foothold again. Now, this is not just the only occurrence of this happening. For example, have you ever heard of Battleborn? Yeah, neither did I, because it got absolutely destroyed by Overwatch, and Overwatch being still alive to this day. And again, with Driver. You don't know what Driver is, and if you do, I'll be impressed, because that tried to go toe-to-toe with early GTA. So, makes sense. If a game can't change for the better, it has no chance to survive. Because gaming is an incredibly lucrative market, and everyone wants a slice of that pie. It boils down to the fact that two games can't exist in the same space. Now, a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, you just said 2OF. Well, if you believe that, please just get out the video, alright? That was an MMO riding Genshin's coattail. It had nothing going for it. That's why Genshin and Honkai can both exist in unison. They are two very different games with two different markets. Yes, they're both gachas from the same company, but the core gameplay and mechanics are completely different. With Wuthering Waves, we have a genuine competitor, which is directly trying to eat up some of the massive market Genshin has. And honestly, before the game is even out, they're already succeeding by doing the absolute power play of publishing the devlog, basically saying, we actually care about you guys. And that's kind of based, I can't lie. Now, while we're talking about other games, let's discuss a few more. So other games that have stood the test of time, and why? Warframe, which is a free-to-play game, similar to Genshin. That had immense praise. You know why? For being fair and listening to the players. This game essentially went toe-to-toe with Destiny, a AAA game with developers as experienced from Bungie. The reason they were so successful is because they were known to be the fair Destiny. World of Warcraft. Do I even need to explain this one? Veteran players are still playing to this day en masse, as they have many forms of endgame content and they still feel satisfied playing this game. See the keyword? Veteran players? They still make up a massive portion of the game. Destiny 2. I know there's a lot of drama about Destiny 2, but it is still a long-lasting game. One example I'm going to use is raids. Extremely difficult dungeon you can take a group of 6 players after beating the game. These are really good tests of skill, rewarding the player for their hard work even getting to this point. Also, the multiplayer is kind of fun, like Genshin. Other games, I'm going to be a bit quick here. Dota, League, CSGO. These are all games that appreciate the player's time by valuing their hard work and skill, whether it be via a leaderboard or ranked competitive games, as the incentive is to keep getting better. You see this? You see what I'm talking about? If you haven't got the main point I'm trying to tell you, it's all about reward and fair challenge. And in one word, endgame. Long-term challenges to test the player, which leaves them feeling respected for their time. This encourages player to keep going and coming back to the game, advance further into the game, as they would feel rewarded for the time they put in. In Genshin, I don't feel rewarded. My bank account just looks empty. I mean, I guess you can argue that you can hit bigger numbers or clear the abyss faster. I mean, do you want to see the endgame of Genshin? It's this poor guy. Yeah, seriously, the Cryo-Regis fight. This guy was in the game since patch 1, and all we do is abuse him, because we have nothing else to do. And yeah, at the end of the day, we just don't feel rewarded for the hours and potentially money we put into the game. What's the point in even trying to be creative when you could just slap on a simple Hyper Beam team and there's no real challenge? Feels like a joke, and why should you even put money in? So it's kind of going against Genshin's own business practice, and maybe it's working now, but it won't work in 3 years. Now here's the thing, if you don't care about all this, then yeah, fine. But without an endgame, a game can't be great. You have to admit, if there's no clear endgame, apart from the story, there is no incentive for you to keep playing this game for years on end. But Genshin wants you to think you have to play the game every day. It kind of goes against the usual arguments I hear. Genshin is a story game. Why you shouldn't try to metagame it? Well then, if that's the case, why do you expect me to log in and grind every day? These aren't attributes a story game has. A story game has a solid and cohesive story that you can enjoy at your own pace without feeling FOMO, without feeling I have to log in and grind every day. So that argument is fundamentally flawed. Once players realize there's no point in playing every day and building characters, they stop playing and stop spending. Luckily for Hoyoverse, this doesn't really reach them until 2-3 years. And it's not a good business practice, I'll tell you that. Now honestly, if MoriHoyo would be open about this, then that would be fine, but it's not the case. They want you to believe you're working hard towards something. And artificially extending the game with dialogue blow and subpar quests, that's a different topic for a different day. I don't think you guys want to stay here for 3 hours watching this video. Now something I'm going to discuss is, why can't they just give us combat? And I do have a theory. And that theory is flat out laziness. Yes, I said it. They won't give us a proper endgame mode, because that way they can't get away with rehashing the same combat event every update. Literally every update we have the same combat event with slight variations. Nothing new. And if we had a consistent endgame, then people won't play this, apart from the primos of course. It would then feel very cheap. On that note, let's talk about events and updates, as we have a lot to discuss here. I'm going to keep it fast on this one. Why are they making random minigame updates? Just please expand the game. If I want to play a silly little game, I will go play a flash game. I did not spend money for this and take hours of my life building characters. Let's be honest here. I think if all of us had an option to vote, do we want our money to go into developing minigames or expanding current game objectives? We'll know what we would pick. Now, here's a disclaimer. I do like most minigames. They're a fun little distraction. Tell me honestly, when you downloaded Genshin, did you download it so you can play the Genshin's version of Connect 4 or whatever goddamn minigame they have at the moment? No, I don't think we need to spend dev time here, okay guys? People play Genshin for the characters' combat and exploration, 3D minigames. I appreciate it, but we don't need it. I'd rather spend time and development power on something that is good. Because Genshin, please, do a test, upload a minigame event, but don't give primogems. Let's see how many people play it then. And the worst part is, these minigames probably aren't even cheap to develop. Maybe they are relative to the actual issues, but making this still costs dev time. So it kind of guilts us for not feeling grateful. Like, no, they're adding stuff to the game. They added the Klee Bomb minigame. How dare you? And then they take it away from you anyway. So if you don't play your little Connect 4, too late. To be honest, I don't think anyone misses a lot of these. I do like some of them. Now, why am I complaining? We are getting updates via Beetle Battle. I love the Beetle Battle game, but it took a year to add the block button. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe it takes that long to add such a complex feature. And no, it doesn't. I'm doing my PhD in computer science. It doesn't take that long. They are being lazy. Another problem I have is that content creators are okay with this. They're not raising a voice about this issue. And of course they're not. If my job was to play this Beetle minigame all day and get paid for it, I will be fine. I'll be very happy. If I had to play Genshin Connect 4 every day, yeah, they don't care. They're getting paid to play Genshin Klee Bomb game, alright? It's not that deep. Unfortunately, everyone else kinda isn't. We most likely have time commitments, whether that be school, work, and family. Imagine waiting a long day and say, can't wait to hop on Genshin, let me see what they added. Connect 4? Oh my god, they added Connect 4 to Genshin! Everyone hands up! No one. Stop. I appreciate maybe some people do like this, and they really do. If that's the case, good for you, and I'm happy for you. I wish I can be like you. But not everyone is. And if you love it, why don't you tell Hoyoverse, please give me my Genshin minigames, don't take them away from me. Because if that's the case and you like these, why are they taking it from you? And again, I read so many comments saying at this point, there's no point. I'm still gonna sell my wife and kids for that new Genshin waifu. Bro, please stop and think. Where are you going to use this new character you dropped an entire house deposit on? Oh, to nuke the next Hilitroll you see? I mean, I like abusing Hilitroll as much as the next guy, but come on. Now, I'm not even complaining about the absurd amount of money. If this game had really good endgame content. If I had a kit, I would have sold it by now to get C6 Grizzly. I don't even care too much about it as well personally because I have negative IQ when it comes to building characters. I build the dumbest characters when I have an actual DPS option, but I main this Twink Punch Man because it's dumb and it's really fun. But I have to make my own fun because there's nothing else to do. Honestly, I didn't have this opinion before, but after doing extensive research, this is how I feel. No, the worst part is, before you defend Miho, let me tell you this. They are 100% capable. They can add endgame content whenever they want. And I will tell you why. They have already developed it. They spent time developing minigames, events. I'm busy playing Genshin's clone of Pokemon, this Beetle Battle, unlike everyone else who's playing Power World. But I'm too far down the rabbit hole. Let me explain why they've already done the hard bit. Remember a while ago they released an event where we build our own domains? So they are capable of making new domains, except they made us make our own content. Let's think about it. Why don't they grab this domain making feature, make some rooms, throw in some mobs, throw in some enemies, randomly generate a whole bunch of new rooms and floors, bam. That's something, alright? Make it, I don't know, add 100 floors, you're done, or something. That's 5-second implementation I made up right now. You've shown us that you can do it. You gave us the tools to do it. Why haven't you done it yet? Before you say, why are you complaining for? New characters are content? No, it's not the case. Yes, the new characters are great. They innovate a lot. They look really cool. Designs are good. You know, even with this one, this is probably one of the best updates for this because, you know, Cloud Retainer gives us a new way to explore the map. But I can't subscribe to the idea because not everyone gets the new characters, especially if you are free to play. So how is it an update if I don't pull Cloud Retainer? It's a very conditional update, if that makes sense. It's not fair for everybody. I'm not pulling Cloud Retainer. Where's my update? What we need from Genshin is proper quality of life changes. We need a revamped to commission system, modern like HSR. I mean, in HSR, you just need to log into the game for a commission. That's crazy. Fix the artifact system. Give us a skip dialogue system. I'm playing a video game, not a light novel. Add controller support to Android. There are so many quality of life fixes we need. It's just not, it's not acceptable. If you were a small dev team with like 10 people, yeah, sure. But no, billion-dollar company, guys. And secondly, end game content. Let's use the characters we slaved away for. I don't care, do something. There are more smart people than me that can come up with better game design ideas. People's full job is game design. You can hire people to design a solid endgame system. But here's a few random ideas I'm gonna pluck out of the air to show you it's perfectly possible. Boss rush. Grab those old domains and make new ones 100 times over or something. When in Genshin, when we had the cool dungeons they ripped from Breath of the Wild, bring those back. Make a roguelike system, like HSR Simulated Universe or something. Endless combat waves. Anything, literally anything from HSR. Why are these guys capable of adding new endgame content and we're not? Just give us something. Even one thing. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm frustrated because they can do better. They have the tools, they have the foundations, they have the money, they have the fans, they have the support, but they don't. They give it to Honkai Star Rail. It's a slap in the face to Genshin players. Now, let me tell you how much money Genshin has made. Alright? Last month they made 17 million on Navia's banner, like I said. That's a banner where people were saving for the Raiden Shogun. Okay? I have a stat right here. Genshin averages 1 billion every 6 months. Genshin surpasses 3 billion on mobile. I don't even need to delve into it, okay? Now, it's really hard to find a very specific amount that EN and Europe makes up, but from what I've seen, we could make up to 20 to 25% of the income. I don't care if that's a higher estimate, and 25% of like billions, 3 billions is a stupid amount of money. So we deserve to say what we want in the game. If we're throwing literally hundreds of millions of pounds at this company, they can listen to us as well. We should have a voice as well. So with all that money, why can't they make any changes? Let me tell you about this interesting game called Entropia Universe. This game is unique as it uses a real-world economy system. I'm going to explain it real fast. Everything in the game has a real value, and everything, and I mean everything, like bullets, really cool. You can buy things with your money, and you can export it and deposit money out of the game. So really cool and innovative feature. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm showing you that's complex, more complex than a gacha system, for example. I don't know. So really complex. Pretty cool, but Bimo, why are you yapping about this random game? I'm yapping because this game was made in 2003. That's probably older than a lot of people watching this video. And if you haven't noticed, this game doesn't look like a game from 2003. That's because they had a complete overhaul of the game. And if these guys can overhaul a game from 2003 with a very unique economy system, which I only say because it's important to note, Genshin characters are technically paid content, so some people may argue that it's very hard to change these aspects. These guys did it. They are much smaller than Hoyoverse. So why is Hoyoverse lacking? Also, do not play this game. It is atrocious. It is really bad. It's basically a gambling simulator. Do not play it. Actually, just don't play the game. Stay away from it. Now, I know from the last video, a lot of you guys are in agreement that we should boycott Genshin, but I think we did jump the gun a tiny bit. We first need to understand what a boycott is and how to run a boycott successfully within gaming specifically. Now, I won't lie to you, having a successful boycott is extremely difficult, and few games succeed. But if any community can pull off something of this scale, it is the Genshin community. But first, let's go over the definition of a boycott. It is to refuse to buy a product or take part in an activity as a way of expressing strong disapproval. Now, first, let's talk about a boycott that was actually successful. Now, a great example of a successful boycott is from a little game I like to call War Thunder. Now, it's quite poetic that I'm using War Thunder as an example here, as it relates quite closely to Genshin, as they both have waifus. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Bibo, those sleepless nights are really getting to you. Those are planes, not waifus. And yes, I have not slept in many days. And again, yes, they are indeed planes. But these guys are cultured. They put waifus on literally everything. I mean, look at that. Planes, tanks, boats, you name it. These guys are insane. I've never seen something more beautiful in my entire life. Just know, if World War III does break out, you're gonna see me going out in one of these bad boys. If I'm going out in style. And yes, that's a tank skin with Kaching on it. So back to the point, War Thunder players, and I assume with the great power of 2D waifus on their side, successfully boycotted against the game. Yes, they had a successful boycott in order to fight against the game's very steep microtransactions, unfair changes to the game such as high repair cost, and difficulty earning in-game money without the use of paid boosters or subscriptions. Now, this boycott was successful, showing how players can voice their concern and actually lead to legitimate change in games. Specifically, they changed the game's economy system here. So, you guessed it, they done this by review bombing. Ta-da! Now, before we get too excited, it is good to note that not every boycott is successful. Many games do try to run boycotts when developers do an action that the players do not want, and the players only have the option to boycott left. For example, you may know, remember I talked about Call of Duty Modern Warfare? It had a sequel, Modern Warfare 2. They had a boycott as the devs removed a very prominent and favorite feature of classic games, dedicated servers, where you and your friends can be degenerates and play games all day on your own private servers. Really cool, really fun stuff, and something I really love about classic games. But enough about me. They removed this, and players ran to start a boycott in honor of the feature they removed. But unlike War Thunder, they failed. Listen, I'm no scientist. One game had the power of waifus and one game didn't. Then which one won? Anyway, more seriously, I will break down why Call of Duty failed and what are the pitfalls of running a boycott and how we can apply this to Genshin in our next section. Get your textbooks out and take some notes. We have an educational segment. This is sounding very boring, but no, it's actually very important. Don't leave the video. 7 steps of running a successful boycott. What are the 7 steps and how can we use them to fix Genshin? Step 1, we need a clear target. Now, this is pretty easy for us. Our target is the Genshin dev team of Hoyoverse, not Honkai Star Rail dev team. The Genshin dev team of Hoyoverse. Number 2. Publicity. We have to voice our concerns in the public. This does not mean putting your comment down in the comment section and pretending you made a change. No, it is not good enough. You need to voice your concerns out loud. In this case, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There's no point talking between ourselves as a Genshin community and pretending like we're really doing anything. We're just talking in a circle out here. Number 3. Populist support. Once you have a clear target and basically have all agreed on the same goal, we need to gather support from basically people outside of our circle. But first, we need to start off. In our example, we gathered support from the Honkai Star Rail community. Thank you, Box2, you are a legend, and Tectone for reacting to the video and really spreading out this cause. You guys are great. Please check them out. So, Honkai Star Rail. Then we've got to move to Genshin creators actually admitting the problem. And then, once we are all in unison speaking loudly, we need to move this to other game communities and other YouTubers. Okay? That's how we get the populist support. It's very important. That's how you get the overall message out there that Hoyoverses are kind of dirtbags and they disrespect their players. This leads us on to trait number 4, visible allies. We need support from larger figures. Content creators, like I said before, they're a good start, but larger allies are needed to help with the course. Number 5, which is where a lot of people struggle, is leadership. As a lot of people want to say they want to join a boycott, or half, kind of suggest one, saying, maybe we should kind of stop encouraging this behavior, but no one wants to put their name on it. Because if it goes south, no one actually wants to affect their career, okay? That's why you need established leaders, people to actually help push the community back on track, remind people what our goal is, and withhold the rules of the boycott. So fence-sitting content creators is just not it. This way we have accountability and leadership established, which are required for the longevity of a boycott. Boycotts don't last for 1 or 2 days. They can go on for a month long, okay? If you are wishy-washy without proper leadership, they risk going on even longer or just straight up failing. You can't have 5 individual boycotts. You need to uphold one goal, which is then supported by leaders in the industry, holding everyone accountable. And this is where the boycott failed for Modern Warfare 2, as a lot of players bought into the hype early. They claimed they were not going to buy the game at all. As soon as bigger influencers stopped spreading the message, people slowly started buying the game. And then that caused more infighting, as they had no one to manage the situation. People just got angry between themselves, and very soon it all exploded and the boycott fell through. And this is evidently due to someone not wanting to put their name on it and taking charge of the situation and reminding players what they are here to do. It's easy to jump on a bandwagon, but it's very hard to maintain action long term. Number 6, here's a big one, purchasing power. In order for a boycott to work, you need to ignore the product of the boycott completely. I am sorry if this is hard to hear, but if you were to boycott Pepsi, for example, you need to pretend Pepsi doesn't exist. And even more, you need to discourage Pepsi. You would, for example, go buy Coke. You need to state your opinions very clearly. I don't like this game. Because you have disrespected me, I am going to play the rivals game instead. In Genshin's point, it's going to be like, I don't like Genshin because the developers treat us like shit, so therefore I will play this gacha instead because you don't deserve our money. As simple as it is. Stop giving money and move the fans that Hoyoverse think they have a tightrope around to somewhere else to show them we are not your slaves. That's pretty, where I bring slaves into this, what the flip? And it's very important you state your intentions very clearly. Because at the end of the day, corporations really care about holding you very tight in their vice grips. If you start moving to the competitors, they're gonna get really scared really fast. And number 7, messaging. What message are you going to spread and how are you going to spread it? It is important not to forget the message, as people may add or remove parts of the message. So we gotta make sure everyone is on board with the same message and that is talked about and that is not forgotten, because people tend to forget the message after a week or 2. Don't let the flame die out. The main reason boycotts don't work is that they start strong, but people either forget the message or dilute it, or can't be asked to spread the message around or withhold to the message itself. For a successful boycott, the message has to be clear, concise, spread and shared, and maintained over the duration of the boycott with actions to back it up. Alright, now how we're going to apply this to Genshin? Incorporate quality of life changes, end game support, and respect from Hoyoverse. That's it. These changes basically sum it up. And because Hoyoverse only care about money at the end of the day, we have to be harsh. We have to boycott and show we are not going to just endlessly follow them and disrespect us how they did, okay? We have to be very specific about what we want and how we are going to achieve this. So we are going to boycott their game. We are not going to be happy with the crappy quality of life updates they've given us, like the garbage artifact system or the half-assed commission update. Why give us a commission update that no one's really going to use? Like, please look at HSR, take their code, steal it, someone do something, okay? Anyway, quality of life, endgame content that the players who have played the game for a long time can do something and feel respected for their time. Okay? That's it. Quality of life, endgame. Like, there's so many things in this game that we just don't get that we really should. Like, can someone tell me why we don't even have Android controller support after all these years? These are basic things, people. It's time to boycott Genshin. We need to be very specific about what we want. We've already seen what happens when we leave Hoyoverse and supervise the garbage artifact system, and they really thought they did a good job on that one. Now, first, we need to be decisive. Not like, yeah, maybe if we spend money, it's not really gonna work, why bother? No, we have to spend money. Not a penny should go to Hoyoverse, okay? Because money talks. Money is what these guys care about, and the moment they start losing money, they will act fast. There is no question about it. I'm taking this one step further. I believe you should not pull on 4.4. They will notice this. The game companies aren't dumb. They have their own data analyst systems. They can see how many people own a character. If we show them that no one pulled a character while saying we are not happy, they will notice it and make fast changes. Don't worry, you will get Cloud Retainer. Genshin, they will ruin Cloud Retainer if this works. Don't worry, Genshin loves money too much to let an entire character go to waste. Plus, we're getting triple character soon, so don't feel too bad about FOMO, alright? Think about it, are they really going to let all the money they put into this new character go to waste? No. You will get your waifu again, I promise. At the end of the day, what are we fighting for? For somewhere to use your waifus, okay? So, stick with me, and hey, you'll actually be able to use her somewhere. Let's be honest, what's the other option? Play the game, support the game, and use your new character to run around slapping hiller trolls. Remember, short-term pain, long-term gain. That makes it sound very serious, but I cannot lie, instant gratification is not the way to go. We need to band together, have a cause, and yes, this time will go quickly. You can either sit through this time and not demand change, or fight for a cause. We are in this together. I want this game to be great. Now, back to the Genshin boycott. There are 3 main things we have to do as a community. If you want to be a part of the boycott, this is what you have to do. No questions asked, okay? I'm sorry, I'm being quite harsh, but it has to be said. Number 1, be heard. We need to be loud. We need our voice back. No more giving up saying they're not going to do anything. We do not need this defeatist, loser mindset I see plaguing the community. We have every right to say what we want to be implemented in the game. So, be heard. Go on Twitter. Go on Instagram. Go on that weird new Instagram they made. Go on your mom's Facebook account. Log in when she's not looking. I don't care. Do something. Make sure you are spreading the words hashtag Boycott Genshin, quality of life changes, and endgame content, okay? Now, in general, I don't want people to get disheartened. The actual hashtag is not what's going to be making the change. Think of a hashtag as reminding people about the cause, alright? So don't be disheartened if you don't see hashtag boycott trending. Like, I feel very happy when I go on other people's video and I see hashtag boycott. It reminds people that we are still fighting, okay? It's spreading awareness to the cause, because not everyone is watching these YouTube videos. Some people may not just be scrolling Instagram or Twitter, okay? And then they will look into it and then find the boycott. You have to speak your mind about what you want and that you're unhappy. Don't worry, if anyone bullies you, just at me on Twitter, I will defend you, okay? And let's get other content creators spreading a decisive message. I'm just a small content creator, so we need larger content creators to take this forward. Don't worry, if anything happens, you can just blame it on me. Now, very important information here. Like I said, the message is only part of the boycott. It's like a fraction, but it's still a vital part of the movement. But it's not the end all be all. Saying hashtag boycott Genshin is not going to do anything. It's mainly about getting people unaware. And you know what's even better? Is actually speaking out loud. Tell other people who aren't even playing Genshin. Tell them Hoyoverse is a garbage game producer. They disrespect their players. Tell your friend. Tell your parents, even though they probably don't care. Tell your dog, alright? Tell him that you can't pet dogs in Genshin. He isn't going to be happy. He's like, what? This is animal racism. At the end of the day, what companies care about is 1, money, and 2, the outlook of the company, what people have. If their company has a bad negative image, people don't support them anymore. And that is what they care about. With this being said, we must not forget how powerful word of mouth is. Word of mouth is one of the best techniques for marketing. I still think that's true to this day. Think about it, a lot of stuff we believe, we heard them from our close friends and family, and then spread that message across. Now, for a boycott to work, the general public have to be aware of what is going on. It may sound like a small deal, but they may pass the message to the next person, okay? So it's not only a financial attack of the company, but it's trying to say, we won't defend your global image if you disrespect us. What I want you to do is tell 10 people. Go out there, tell 10 people, Boycott Genshin, the developers are basically disrespecting us, and the game sucks. Not the game sucks, but you know what I mean. Like, usually, when you hear your friend yapping about how much he's annoyed about a game, you do that. Tell them how much you are dissatisfied with Genshin, and miHoYo is kinda a mid-company. That word will spread out. Larger YouTubers will actually hear about this. Why I personally believe in this is purely because of the fact that historically, some of the most successful boycotts have happened via word of mouth. And if you've ever heard of a theory called 6 degrees of separation, you will really understand we live in a small world. Let's read from Wikipedia what the 6 degrees of separation is. 6 degrees of separation is the idea that all people are 6 or fewer social connections away from each other. As a result, a chain of friend of a friend statements can be made to connect any 2 people in a maximum of 6 steps. Yes, you are only 6 people away from anyone in the world. Now, if you don't believe me, I'm gonna give you a really botched example. So, Tectone messaged me the day because I spammed him on Twitter. Good guy, thank you very much, you helped me out for this video actually. That connected me to Tectone. So, Tectone knows Toronto. I can bet money he has him on Discord at least, or can be connected to him. And Toronto has met the legend himself in charge of it all. So there you go. What, that was like 4? Bam. And I'm already connected, and I know like at least 1,000 people. So, done. You see how that works? And the key point is that we are trying to keep speaking so China can hear our complaints, and they know that they have our support. At the end of the day, trying to get our message to CN, alright? Backed up by the data showing we are boycotting as well. Don't undermine how much power you have. Number 2, don't spend. This is the most important part, and if you don't take anything away from this video, let it be this. Do not spend whatsoever. If you do spend, you are just basically saying, Hoyoverse, please, I don't mind if you disrespect me. Keep doing it, alright? That's the bare minimum. Don't spend a penny. The recent Ayaka and Navia panel, which was Ayaka's third rerun by the way, took home $18 million. Do you know how much money that is? Where did they get this from? We made up a big portion of it. Imagine 20% of 18 million. That's stupid amounts. Imagine how much if we boycott our 20%, plus even just 30% from the CN's community. You're looking at like a 30% global drop in profits overnight. That is huge. If the message gets spread, hopefully 50%. I know these are hopeful numbers, but I believe we can do it. If any community can do it, it's ours. Just don't try to kill the producer this time. Please don't do that. That's bad. You may not also have thought about this. People can see these stats. If they can see that Genshin's not earning any more money, the actual stock value and, the actual value of the company will plummet really fast. Hoyoverse will step in. They will do anything they can to fix it and listen to us for once. It is not a joke. You are actually worthwhile. If everyone who watched that last video was like 90k, just stop spending like the £15, like the bare minimum, like a lot of people do. You're looking at $1 million. I don't know if I just made it up. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I don't even make a joke. CN is already fighting back. They've done the hard part. We just have to follow and show with our actions, meaning no spending, spreading the message, telling other people not to spend. Remember, not everyone watches these videos. Go to your little cousin that plays Genshin. Tell him, don't use your mom's credit card to buy characters this month, okay? Or I'll slap you. What? Tell it to people that aren't online, okay? Not everyone watches Genshin videos. People just play the game in silence. They don't know. Get the message out. Don't spend money in Genshin until we get the game fixed. The money talks, and it's the only thing miHoYo will listen to. And I promise you, they will. Vote with your wallets. And now I'm not talking about maybe, I'm saying vote with your wallets. You have to. As a Genshin fan, it is a disservice if you do not. I am being pretty aggressive on this stance. And I won't stand for it. So back to the point, if we make up 20% and all of us boycott, follow with CN, even boycotting a fraction, that's 35 to 45% losses in revenue for the company. That's huge, all right? But this will only work, I repeat, only work if we pull our weight. You will get Cloud Retainer waifu again. Do not worry about it. And to show you I am not kidding, I have some references from a research paper. Yes, a Genshin content creator that can read. Crazy. Our results are consistent with Friedman and supported by observations in the marketplace. First, it is the interest of the target firm to settle boycotts quickly if boycotts inflict substantial financial losses. Summarized, hit hard and hit fast. If we can cause a significant dip in Genshin's profits, they will listen to us. But we all need to act together because we are on the back foot. We are the smaller community, so we need to act twice as hard. I don't want to hear we're a small community, so what's the point? I want to hear we're a small community, so we need to fight twice as much. This reference also goes backwards as well, so you can expect a delayed response or even turning a blind eye. So if something was to happen, it would take more time, and I'm sure we all want to go straight back to Genshin. We don't want to wait more time than we have to. So do not be selfish, we are in this together. Again, to follow this up, why it's so important. Second, reports from Nike and, I can't say this name, indirectly makes this point because firms know that boycotts cause significant financial losses, they can afford to ignore them. If Hoyoverse does not realize we are serious and they believe that they can wait out the storm, there's a good chance that they will. However, this may seem like a point against our cause. We know why this is actually a good thing. Hoyoverse have caved and listened to us in the past. So therefore, they are not the type of company to just try to wait out the storm. They respond to harsh, decisive actions from the community. Now, don't feel bad about this. If they had good two-way open communication, we wouldn't have to go crazy about this, okay? Let's hope that next time they actually start listening to us. And they will, I promise you. They can't keep doing this cycle. Number 3, straight to the point, review bomb Genshin. Give them 1 stars. Let them know we are not playing around. Companies' images are so important to them, and I can show you through this. Duration of many boycotts question the assertion that firms negotiate with boycotters to save their corporate image. What does this mean? It shows that not all boycotts end up with attempts to negotiate. Like I said before, with what we know about Hoyoverse is that they will, based on their previous responses, and they will try to save their corporate image that matters to them, and, thus in turn money. A massive note, do not review bomb HSR. That will only serve to muddle our message and make it longer for them to realize what we want. Review bomb Genshin. Focus all your efforts. Instead of review bombing HSR, review bomb Genshin twice. Grab your alt account, review bomb it again. Grab your bomb's phone, review bomb. Get those 10 people from earlier, get them to review bomb. Okay? Let them know. I want to see a 1-star app in the Play Store. They're not going to get any new players if they're realizing, oh crap, people are willing to take action. I'm not going to download a 1-star game on the Play Store. It's just not going to happen. So to summarize, spread the message. Hashtag Boycott Genshin. This is to bring other people to the cause and let other people know. Stop spending, not even a penny. Review bomb. Let them know we are not happy. Review bomb Genshin and Genshin only. Tank the reviews. I don't care. They deserve this. By having a clear message, we will allow people to get involved, which in turn will get more people to stop spending and then spread the message. We need the message to hit mainstream to succeed. And this has already started. Look at this video. 141k 5 days ago. Don't worry. Mainstream YouTubers are as desperate as Genshin content creators to create content. Trust me, they're just as bad. And if you give them a juicy story to eat up, they will, okay? Get our message to them. Let them know the Genshin community is going crazy and we are being disrespected. They will eat that up. Moist Critical, please react to my video, please, or any video on the matter. Finally, I did not include this in the 3 steps. I mean, quite frankly, I won't be upset if you don't hold yourself to the standard because it's a harsh statement. I will be skipping the entirety of Genshin 4.4. This hurts even more for me personally because not only did I miss out on collecting my battle pass and getting all that, I am now also missing the opportunity I literally waited for how many months to C6 my Farazan. This genuinely hurts me. My main, the Wanderer and Haiju, getting C6 will increase my game like crazy, but for you guys, I will do it. I will skip and I will come back for 4.5. This shows you I'm not doing it for the clout or whatever. I'm missing out on C6 Horizon, which is insane. This is very difficult for me to do. Yes, anyways, if you do want to take it a step further by not playing, which I fully agree you should do, especially if you're already unhappy, but I won't push this standard on everyone. It's only the other 3 messages you have to do. If you really want to be a part of the Lantern Rite, then honestly, watch last year's event. It's the same thing, and that's exactly why it's so annoying. They just repeated the same thing with some slightly new events. I know it will be difficult, but this is a very powerful statement, and they can directly see how many players are playing the game. Let me show you. See that? 600k. And that was fairly low. Last time I checked, it was 650. At the end of the day, we have to hit Hoyoverse hard. Specifically in Genshin, we have to show we will not stick up for this. And if they see this number, they wake up tomorrow and this number is at 300,000, even for 7 days, they will go crazy. I'm sure you can let go of the game for a week. Imagine how much better the game will be when you come back, okay? Now, I don't want to be the guy that says do not play Genshin. Some of you guys really love this game and swear by it, so I will not push that standard on you. But if you are willing, I 100% encourage you to stop playing. Even if you love the game, to stop playing it. The game will be there when you come back. It's not going to disappear. So please spread this message, boycott Genshin, follow the 3 steps to join the movement, and let's get through this together. And to show my personal support, I will be covering all the updates, the live player limits, seeing what the Genshin community is saying, any updates from Hoyoverse, and I will do all of these unmonetized. For the month of Feb, for any Genshin boycott update videos, they will not be making any money from me. I will keep you guys updated just for the sake of it, okay? So I've let this movement actually affect my life because I didn't do any work last week because of all of this, and I have a meeting coming up in a few days. So that's how much I care about you guys, because I don't see anyone else pulling their weight as they should. I mean, they are now talking about it, but we can do more. I've seen what we are capable of as a community, and all the previous crazy Genshin stories, that was all done when basically no one really said anything. They were unorganized and people just went ham. Imagine if we have a movement where we all work together for one goal. I fully believe from the bottom of my heart, we can get the changes we want and change the game and get Hoyoverse respect for once, because they don't respect us. And if you guys, like, for me personally, Genshin's a massive game. And I know I'm the same as a lot of you guys when I just mash the skip button. Yeah, please add a skip story button. Please, Hoyoverse, that's crazy. I skipped a lot of the lore, so I will be going back and just reading Genshin for the next month. Reading the wiki pages, learning about the lore. So the game is so huge to the point where, like, I can enjoy the game and the universe by not even playing it. I will be researching the lore, each individual characters, and writing scripts, so that at the end of February, which is most likely when 4.4 ends, I will have some amazing content for you guys, but I will not be playing the game. Here I am uninstalling the game, but before we do that, I just want to show Chungus up for the last time, as he is the first DPS I made way back when I first started making YouTube videos. Bye-bye, Chungus. The game is now gone. Finally, I want to say a big thank you for all of you who watched this video and the last video and sticking to it. These are very long videos. Just watching the video to this point will help get the message out, and I truly believe if we act swiftly, we will solve these problems. Everyone does treat us like a joke, so let's demand some respect. I believe we can do this. Finally, share this video and also my last one. I'll link them in the description. I don't make any money off these. I just want to get the message out and actually be a voice for the community. Say things that others are not able to say, because Hoyoverse will axe their contract. I spent literally hours and hours reading your comments, so please continue to comment and I will read them. Go comment on other people's videos, get other people talking, spread the 3 rules of the boycott, which were be heard, don't spend, and a review bomb. Don't underestimate how much you can do as an individual, because at the end of the day, I have no power myself. I can yap for an hour, as I've shown you, but I can't do anything. I need you guys, I need your support, because you are the people keeping content creators alive, and you are the people keeping Hoyoverse in business. So don't let them forget how powerful we are. And it all starts with just one voice.